table topics.
Hello Toastmasters, guests and visitors. So this is the fun part of the Toastmaster meeting where we do table topics. And today it's an assignment for me, so I'm going to give you a slightly different perspective on it because I will be doing an active listening exercise at the same time. So again, the purpose is to have you guys think on your feet, listen, be involved and get a chance to show us your wonderful speaking skills or to just practice whatever comes into your head and throw it out of your mouth. So, also just a reminder, if you can remember to try and use the word of the day. And I am going to call on my first victim.
Me?
Yes.
I put the one close to the middle there.
Right.
That gives me variety. I can go either way. My purpose in life. That's the heading. What is my purpose in life? Let me think now. Since I retired, my purpose in life is to stop working on technical issues if I can. And my wife is insisting that I should do that. And one of those things, as you've heard earlier today, I want to be a gourmet cook. Okay, so that's one of my purposes. And the other thing is to be a good husband as well. Now, I've been divorced once, and like I mentioned, was it Keith Floyd? Do you know how many times he was married? 4 times. And he killed his liver. He died at the age of 65. I think he did have a partner at the end, but she kept up on it. So I want to be a good husband. That's one of my purposes there. And I want to be a good father. I've got a son who's about to go off to Canada, emigrate to Canada, and I want to be a good grandfather too, because I've got 2 little boys. My wife from her previous marriage has got a little granddaughter who lives in Phuket. She's just come back from Phuket, and I missed her terribly, terribly. And so that's my purpose in life, is to be a good husband, to be a good father, and to be a good grandfather. Thank you.
So Adrian, you really brought home the purpose of family and how important family is. That is purpose in life, and also the gourmet cooking, the drinking, and Keith Floyd, which means you need to have a lot of fun as well. So, our next person, Anna, if you'd like to come up.
If I could be anything right now, what would I be? 2 of our lovely guests told me that I should have been a model. I wish that I had chosen that as my occupation, because I absolutely love clothing. Just imagine that I could do what I love every single minute of every single day. Why did I choose to become an accountant? Because more clever? Was that really the more intelligent choice? I don't know. I'm starting to question my decisions in life. What I would also love about being a model is all of the shoes and all the traveling. As many of you know, whenever I go to an African country, I always make a purchase of a dress. Imagine me being an African model. I think you guys should help me make this dream materialize. Thank you very much.
Well, and we can see by the way you turned out today that you certainly have the potential to be a model. And I was reading the other day about Reese Witherspoon and how she got to keep, I think it was 56 pairs of Jimmy Choos after one of her movies. Yeah, a good choice. And as an accountant, you have a very solid backup on that. So beauty and brains, a good combination. Right, Annika, you my next.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. My topic for today is the most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. The most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging.
Are you quite stuck with that?
Yeah, impossible to change.
You see it happen.
Dig another hole.
That's fine, guys. You don't like this.
Oh. Thank you. My second option is if you do what you are always done, if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always got. Yes, this one, I agree. I've been trying to lose weight, baby fat, for the past 8 years. Every night before I go to sleep, tell myself tomorrow I'll wake up at 3:30. I do have an Obitrek in another room. I'm going to go to an Obitrek for 30 minutes while listening to my gong. And I do set an alarm. My alarm goes off at 3:30. For the past 8 years, I sometimes do it, sometimes I don't. But if I can change my habit and start doing it, maybe I can lose the baby fat. The clothes doesn't fit. But if the clothes gets really tight, I do it consistently. But it's just hard. Just like standing in front of people. It doesn't get easier. So if there was a tip behind this, I would implement it. But because I'm challenged with this today, I will do things differently.
Thank you, Annika. I certainly know what the challenge is around baby fat. I think I've carried mine for about 11 years now, so we'd have to change something there, really change it up to make a difference on that. Right, so I am looking for my volunteer. Yes, please. Sorry, I don't remember your name. Cuevas.
topic master, you assume I know what that is.
You need a new card.
I'll wing it, I'll wing it. So I assume it would be something like the third industrial revolution, just more technologically oriented. I am working in this industry, websites, mobile apps, all those kind of things, and therefore I am already prepared for it. I have just made my first hire in my company as a developer, and unfortunately for me, he can do mobile apps, which I can't do. I'm just a website developer. So now my company is now 2 people strong. Yes. Whoa! Yeah. And one of them can build an app. So that's great. So I can really focus on expanding my offering, my company offering. I think I'm getting there to be prepared.
Very nice to hear that you've started your own business and you've made progress with your first hire, so you've increased your employee rate by 100%. Well done. And I have one more person. Please. Oh yes, you go. Thank you. Hugo, I've seen the jerseys of the man of the day.
You're trying to influence everyone. Reinvention is a way to take charge of your life. I had to reinvent myself when I lost my job. I was employed by Zimbabwe Cricket a few years ago as Chief Executive Officer of one of their cricket franchises. So I was responsible for putting together the franchise from inception through to day one when things started happening. So it was hiring coaches. In fact, one of the coaches I hired, I'm glad to say, Chris Silverwood, is now the coach of England. So he was my coach at some point. Anyhow, a few years down the road of this amazing job, I was at loggerheads with the board of directors on the direction that the franchise should take. So invariably, had to throw in the towel, and I left. I love this job. It was who I was. It was everything to me. And the question started coming through. Dude, what are you doing? We don't see your cricket. What's going on? There was all sorts of stuff in the papers and so on as to why I'd left abruptly. The challenge then was, where do I go from here? So I went through a process of sitting back and thinking about what were my skills, what was I good at. One of the things that I'd done for many a day was TV, been on TV for a long time. So eventually, an offer came up. I joined a channel called Kwesi TV. I relocated to South Africa, and with that, I started a new career, a new path, met new people, new friends, and that was how I reinvented myself. My topic sponsor. Thank you very much.
So those times of change, and when you realize that things are not working for you as they weren't working for you, Hugo, requires that inner reflection and a shift in your path so that you're able to move forward and onward, and well done on the reinvention of yourself. I have 2 left, if I can...
Go for it, yes.
could change one thing from my past, what would it be? Wow, good. This usually requires a lot of reflection because, as we all know, your present is determined by your past. So, if I could change one thing from my past, what would it be? I was born in Zambia to a mom, dad, me and my sister. We moved to South Africa when I was 8. And I lost my dad when I was 10, while I was on a trip to Zambia. Since I was 10, it didn't really hit me at all. I didn't really reflect on it. I was like, okay, it's one of those things. It was sort of explained to me. But as you get older and you reflect, you start seeing how people in your life influence who you become as a man, who you become as an adult, and also how you grow up. So I think if I could change one thing about my past, it would probably be I would like to have grown up with my dad as an influence in my life, because I feel like that kind of influence and direction is one of the biggest things that's missing in men and in young kids' lives these days. Okay, the fact that I'm here is I'm trying to look for my own path and learn from other people. But yeah, I think if I could change one thing, then I would change that, because I think that would have made the biggest difference. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. That was really touching, and thank you for sharing about the loss of your father with us, and the influence that he may have had on you, and the fact that you're looking for support amongst other peers here at Toastmasters today. So, from my perspective, that concludes my Table Topics Master task for today. So, thank you.
Guys, please go ahead and vote for table topics.
I think this is yours because I've got it lit, but I don't.
Can we just
There's a
hear all the
text.
speakers? Are they impromptu?
You've got the list.
Just raise your hand.
Our speakers, I hope in the right order, it's Anne, Adrian, Monica, then me, Kobus, then Hugo, and then Fred. Got the names? Everybody got the names?
Yeah.
Okay. Self-confidence issues.
Sorry, Hugo.
Is this your second or third?
It's about my foot, but don't worry.
Do thank you very much. Very entertaining, very challenging, and it brought up different perspectives to everybody's look on life, on their various situations, whether you would push restart, or you dig further, or choose not to dig at all. We all had an opportunity. Are we going to get a timekeeper's report on the table topics, please?
Certainly, Mr. Toastmaster. We've got 2 outliers today. Fred being 19 seconds over at 2 minutes 19, and me being 15 seconds short with only 45 seconds. The rest of the speakers did very well. Ane 134, Adrian 129, Onika 133, and Hugo 155.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon the evaluation chair. You want to take over the evaluation session.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm not going to fall down yet. Thanks. I think, generally speaking, Mr. Toastmaster, you're over there, right? The standard of our speeches was very, very high, well prepared, and very enjoyable. We'll start with my views on, and our views on Adrian's speech. He was talking about gourmet cooking. Well, I'm interested in that too. I used to enjoy cooking as a bit of a hobby. I found it a very creative hobby. Unfortunately, a lot of my creations had to go down the loo because they weren't edible. And Adrian, you're not the only person who can boil an egg. Well, I don't have a wife to help in the kitchen, so I can't really comment on that. Yes, I know about washing dishes. That is one of the worst things about being your own chef. You've got to wash up pots and pans and dishes. What I liked here, Adrian, you had great use of the stage space. We all enjoyed Floyd because he didn't just drink red wine, he drank a Norwegian spirit called aquavit, which is really powerful. He could power torpedoes with that stuff. Yeah, Anne gave you a wonderful birthday present to attend, a voucher to attend cooking classes. Yeah, you got a good mentor at where we live, John McCullum. Is he Cullum or McCullum?
McCullum.
McCullum, yeah. You bought yourself a cookbook. Well, I've also got a couple of cookbooks, but they don't really help me. I know about the oven with knobs on. I invariably get that wrong, wrong temperature. And you're fired up for cooking. Just use of props. You maybe used a few too many. Now, Harold, your assignment, it was actually a very difficult assignment, and I found it difficult to evaluate. Now, I think you did really well with the, what you call it, the group, what you call it, a conference. Yeah. The stage was set up for a meeting. I'll come back to it in a minute. Your introduction to the discussion on awards was clear and sharp to the point. Lynn had comment on various meeting awards, so I'm not going to comment on all your comments there. One of the good things was recognition for a role play, namely the Genie Award, and awards for table topics. I like that one too. Do you know different levels of speech? You shouldn't measure performance against others' performance. Adrian, some people win again and again. That's a valid point. The same people come up for awards again and again. That gets a bit tiresome. Awards motivate new speakers. Difficult to compare speeches. Recognition for achieving objectives, that's a valid one. And encourage desire to do better. Now we come to Annika's speech. Annika, your introduction was good. It was nice, clean, sharp. Where are you, Annika?
She's in the building.
Why? You didn't get my permission? All right, her introduction was really good. It was clear and sharp. What I liked there too, when she was asked what her weaknesses were, that is very, very important. She knew what her weaknesses are. If you don't know what your weaknesses are, it shows you don't know yourself. She indicated she has strong management skills. To deal with her weaknesses, she's got a Toastmaster coach, someone that we all love very much, Tambu, to help her get over that. Management style, that's a strong motivator. Counseling employees to exceed. Reiterating with, sorry, I missed that one. Flexible, and she is flexible and adjustable. Member of Toastmasters to improve. Body language and eye contact. Judy mentioned that. The way the meeting was set up, she had her back to me, so I can't really comment on that. But I think her general consensus was that she could have done better with that. And especially Judy, you said facial expression. The other thing Judy mentioned, which was valid, don't talk about negative matters that happened in the past. And don't be gender specific. I think in this day and age we're all trying to do away with gender, race, politics and all that nonsense. So all in all it was a very good speech. Mr. Toastmaster, you are now back in charge.
Yeah, I think so. It's all individuals talking. I think that. But do you discuss something else outside?
Okay.
And over to you.
No, do we still want the individual evaluators to come up and do their?
Oh yeah,
In addition to
sorry,
you.
yes,
Okay.
forgot about
Perfect.
that.
No, that's fine.
So I'll take a seat on the side.
Johan, are you going to call us up?
Yeah,
Each person? Myself and Fortune?
yeah, all right, do that.
Just go.
Okay.
You know you first.
He just called you up, do you?
Exactly. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, so thank you.
Thanks, Johan.
Oh. Yes, I realized you.
We had a discussion about that on the point. Yeah. So, Adrian, gourmet cooking, the the storyline goes, as a bachelor, you played the specific part of, you could at least boil an egg because you had a special device, and you could cook some eggs because it was a necessity. And that's how you pretty much started off your speech. And the only term of gourmet came into your back when you cooked gourmet was using the HP sauce, because it was knighted from the Queen. It's a really and throughout your entire speech, you use subtle humor like that. That you don't. It doesn't have a massive punchline, but it's quirky and it puts a little smile on our face. And you did that throughout your speech. And I think that's one of the great things about your speech, is that it's very conversational. It's very subtle, and like you engage. You don't even know you're listening, and you're just enjoying it. You're just like going on. So that's one of the things I love about your speeches. And then throughout your speech, then you started speaking into, you were watching these cooking shows, but nothing really got you engaged until you went to a cooking course with your wife called Taste Buds, which you informed us about, and it got us involved. And that's another little subtle thing you're doing. You're like getting people engaged in the speech by just asking little questions. And it's funny how you don't, these things are very subtle, and you're like, okay, what are the techniques that this man's using just to keep me engaged? So you've got an art there, it's all done. And then, so then you kind of, near the end of your speech, you start speaking about the actual gourmet cooking that you started to get involved in, with the light crusted tuna, which you showed us a little picture of, and then the kind of the banana bread that kind of eluded you on the stage. So that's one of the things, your props, just, you need to practice those. It's one of those things that, I don't know if you have to have them numbered, maybe don't have too many because you were fumbling, dropping them on the floor, running off them.
Yeah.
So that's something that you do have to practice. And then just another improvement is that you rushed through your speech, and just because you had so much to present, a lot of information, and I think you can really cut out your introduction. You said good morning everybody, and you said hello, really said hello. Get into a nice hard hitting quote, get straight into it. And then that will cut out 20 seconds, gives you more time to enjoy the rest of your speech. But otherwise, I enjoyed the research that you provided to all of us, and I believe that you were able to meet your agenda, providing specific research, that information to the crowd. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Must I? Can I call?
Yeah, Colin. Yeah.
Can I welcome Fortune to the front
Okay.
to evaluate Harold's speech? Please welcome Fortune.
Dr. Masters, visitors and guests, thank you. This was a very tough evaluation for me, given that it's my first evaluation and it was not so straightforward. But I'd like to thank Harold for such an effort, putting up such a smooth presentation. And I also want to thank all the participants that also participated. It was so engaging. Thanks for the effort. The topic selection, in my view, was perfect. It is something, our club is an agile club. We want to try new things, and this is one of the things that I feel is quite relevant. So I think this topic selection was quite good. I also loved the humor that Harold had. We had a few jokes, for example, a joke on Hugo being new and speaking better than advanced Toastmasters, and also these other sparkling awards, joke to the president. I think there was so much humor which made the meeting quite engaging. Okay. At some point, Harold also asked Dino to share his experience to the panel during the discussion. I think it was also relevant to actually hear Dino's experience and how it shared with the other participants of the discussion. I think it was also good. Generally, I think consensus was reached, and the consensus that was reached was that we must do something just to change the way we do our awards, and all the panelists unanimously agreed to that. And further to that, there was also some action items that was also agreed. Anev suggested voting, and Dino suggested trying out in the next meetings to see how it goes. Then we can see if it works. I also want to add that during the meeting, Adrian was also thought-provoking. At some point, he actually provoked Adrian to come up with a brilliant point of having the most improved speaker award. So I think, generally speaking, the arguments were top drawer. Everything went well, and it was smooth, and the consensus was reached at the end of the presentation. Well done, Harold. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, I've already given my evaluation of Annika's speech. So, over to you.
Can I give an evaluation of our topics master? Because she did an assignment.
Do you want to do the evaluation?
Yes, please.
All right, carry on.
Please welcome Harold to the front.
Don't worry, Mr. Evaluation Chair. I wasn't volunteering you to do the evaluation. Judy's assignment was called active listening, and what we were looking for was primarily how well she listened to the table topics, and it was a table topic session that she had to do, and what comments she came back with at the end of each speech. This evaluation will concentrate on that, but also just talk about the table topic session in general. So, general comments, you excelled at, and I've said here, great listening skills and attention to details with your linking between topics. And certainly with each participant, when they finish speaking, you relayed something that they said back to us. And I don't think there was an exception where you didn't do that, so very well done on that. So in terms of that part of the assignment, very well done. Thank you. I may want to suggest, just in terms of the table topics at the end, some kind of a wrap-up. You might have pointed out one or two other things that people did, or even just thank the speakers, or even just call the names out of those who spoke so that everybody could remember. And of course, we would have liked a timekeeper's report at the end of it as well. And to challenge yourself, I thought it would have helped if you had helped Annika through the first topic. And I'll tell you why, because if you compete in a Toastmasters a top table topics competition, you don't get to change the topic. And even if you don't know anything about it, you should speak about it. And I thought perhaps what you could have done was just ask her a question just to prompt her to speak on the same topic, rather than rescuing her with another topic. I think that would have been a good challenge for you. It's not easy. I know it's terrible to see someone stand up here and not know what to do, and you do want to rescue them, but I think it would have been more useful to her just to walk her through it, and the next time she's learned something that she can do. Okay. But otherwise, very well done, and the session went very well. I think the speakers responded very well, and it was a well-run session. So congratulations on that.
Over to you, Hugo.
Mr. Evaluation Chair, thank you very much for that. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon the grammarian to give us her report. Madam President, if you will.
Ladies from here, would you like to name?
Either or.
A short report because we only had 3 speeches, but also, well, we had table topics too, but ordinarily the great grammar comes out of the speeches because you've had the benefit of time to prepare and build in all these lovely things. But of our 3 speeches, 2 of them were very different. The interview session also didn't allow for floweriness necessarily, and Harold's session with us, we weren't building those things in. So for that reason, less for me to assess in terms of grammar. But just a couple of things that I did pick up. Adrian, I love the idea of spicing up a recipe with alcohol. And I love the description. The bars, fans and squiggly things on the oven knobs are fun. And the plate is your canvas and the food are the colours. That's lovely. And thermoception. Cool word. Yeah, I didn't lack an interest, but just there weren't tons of other things that I can reference. So, in terms of word perception, Hugo used multiple times. Thank you. Quibus, as did you, and Judy, you did too. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody else out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. Next up, our counter, Renee.
At the beginning of the meeting, the intent is not so much to catch out the speakers, it is more to make you aware of it, because it could be a really bad habit which you're not aware of. The winner of today's R's is Adrian, who had a number of 43. This was very closely followed by Dino with a number of 42.
Whoa.
Both of you love the use of and are, and I'd like to propose that you just take a big breath and pause.
I suggest a lot of big breaths.
Yeah. Silent most of the time.
The rest of the members, I'm going to just call out the numbers. You're welcome to come chat to me afterwards if you want to know which words were used. Judy, 19. Quibus, 10. Lynn, 23. Ine, 11. Harold, 13. Annika, 2. Hugo, 1. Very well done. Fred, 10. And Fortune, 14. Better luck next time.
Thank you very much to our very diligent supermodel. Now, reinvention is a way to take charge of your life, particularly if you're going down a pathway that is wrong for you. It's time to make a change. I'm going to give you a few ways, very, very quickly, on how you can reinvent yourself. You want to see the new you, envision the new person, sell you the new you, change your inner dialogue, talk to yourself. Be patient. Do not rush into making a dramatic or drastic change. Change your seeables. Spruce up your closets, your bathroom, your wardrobe. Dress like a name. Deal from strength. Find your niche strengths. It's always easier to conquer when you're good at something. And that, if you can conquer in that space, it allows you to do other things that you aren't familiar with, or haven't been able to do before. Find your purpose. This may take more time than you think, but do it nonetheless. Take down the rearview mirror. Don't keep hammering on yourself about your past. It's time for a change. Focus on what's ahead of you. Upgrade your hellos and goodbyes. Within 90 seconds of your hello and goodbye, the recipient will swiftly have thoughts of positive, negative, or indifference about you. So make sure they think positive. Immunize yourself from your detractors. There are a lot of people that will try and pull you down and say to you, no Adrian, no Harold, no Dina, you can't do it. You don't need those people in your space. And finally, build your inner circle. Find people like these. People that will encourage you. People that will challenge you. People that will make you the best that you can possibly be. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust that you will all continue to challenge yourselves and challenge yourself with the possibility of reinvention. Madam President, it's over to you. Dina, you did the speaker, right?
Yep.
Would you mind just voting for best evaluator, please? And we'll come around and fetch those. Thank you.
Thank you. So the evaluators.
And I'll also fetch big mugs. So if you've got any thoughts about that.
Big mug.
Big mug.
Valuation.
Big mug. Big mug.
Big mug.
Big mug.
Evaluation.
Sounds like a big mug.
Evaluation.
You just gave me valuation, right? Valuation. Valuation.
None. Valuation.
Valuation, thank you very much.
Adrian, Scott, evaluation.
Evaluation. Mug?
It's none. No.
I thought we would ask to vote for big mug as well, so we can vote because they might not be needed.
Valuation.
Any more?
Mug.
Valuation, I've got my deal.
Give me 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, I think it will be for the year.
The art of the invention.
Yes, you guys. We'll go for it.
And drum roll for our best speaker. We come back. Harold. To my earlier point about the genie, I'm not going to hand that out today. So let's talk about big mugs. It's always fun. Okay, so someone has said Annika, but no particular reason, so she's been voted for. Hugo, that rugby jersey. Hugo, England need to lift some sort of trophy. Johan, doing the entire evaluation by yourself. Wonderful. I can't. At the beginning, oh yes, when you were asked to stand up and explain the project of the person whose speech you were evaluating, you said, if I have to. You go to the comment about I do and kissing and stuff. For Annika's freezing, and then from there to baby fat. Yes, your floral shirt again. Johan having to send the creations down the loo. And powering torpedoes. And Dino describing Adrian's quirky speeches. And Harold, your sparkly awards. I think your name has been mentioned more than others.
I think we have a tie, if you count properly.
Who do you think you tied?
You win.
You, yes, it could be close.
Right, you're welcome to both come up.
Yes! Finally grab it from Adrian.
Well done. Must be the next
This great gentleman I am.
Oh, we can hold it between us.
Yes,
Let's come closer.
Okay.
There we go.
And then?
1, 2, 3.
Now, what Hugo and I are going to do, we're going into the room next door and we'll put some juice in here.
Good idea.
I'll go along with that.
Half that bell that Adrian talked about.
Well done.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
It should really did it, I guess.
My apologies, I didn't do program changes earlier. Anyway, we of course managed through all of that. On behalf of Mandy, who ordinarily would come up at this point, she has asked me just to confirm speakers for our next meeting on the 23rd, who are currently listed as Hugo, myself. Are you in?
I am in.
Thank you. Anae and Dino.
Okay, fine.
No.
If I have to.
Okay, check.
You put your hand up.
Yeah.
It's still up. Okay. So
Sorry.
those are four. Anybody who's interested in case any of these four fall off that would like to put their hand up? You don't have to.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe anybody else interested? Okay. Thank you.
Maybe means you will be on.
Good if you were.
I think she put me down for a role.
Lynn?
Yes, she was fine for all players. She just wanted clarity on the speakers. Thank you. I don't have the list, but yes, thank you. Who wants to calling my
Sorry.
name? Yes.
Lynn? I've put up my name for Toastmasters at one point. Is it next meeting, or do you know if it's next meeting or is it the one after
I
that?
don't have it here.
Okay, I think it's next meeting that I'm Toastmasters, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to follow up. I'll prepare as if.
share, and perhaps even yourself, as you, because you arrived a little bit later, want to share your any experience from spending 3 hours with us today?
Hi everyone.
Hello.
It's very interesting. I must say there's a lot to learn. I look forward to the next one. I think for me today was just more of seeing how you go about your Toastmaster classes and how you go about trying to improve someone speaking. So it was very intriguing. I'll definitely be back for the next one. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that to me. Thank you. Anything from you, Fred?
No, not really. It was another amazing meeting. I enjoyed all the topics and all the speeches. It was something a bit different with the consensus. And yeah, I enjoyed the variety in it. And yeah, everyone's speech was great. And thanks for voting for me.
Welcome. I would just like to thank everybody for the warm welcome that I received today. It's my first visit outside of my own club, and I really felt right at home. So thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being our table talks master. Thank you for bringing us for having me. All right. On the point, anybody like to mention anything else that you want to ask or share?
I'm super proud of this. I'm going to frame it and hang it maybe in my office or at home somewhere. But yeah, very, very proud.